finger's not sticking up. It's as good as it gets.
Hold on, GQ's calling.
Okay.
He's
They're on
busy
the
right
other
now.
line.
He's busy.
Hi, my name is Ross Miller and welcome to the Speedwell Garage, Parkton's friendliest Studebaker-Packard workshop. When we last left you, we were talking about how hard it is to get this bushing out here because the way that it's located, you can't get a puller underneath of it, and you also have this little delicate thrust bearing here that we don't want to ruin because otherwise we have to buy another one and we're too cheap for that. So what I did this morning, and it actually worked quite well, is that while the bushing was still in there, I just packed the hole with a wet paper towel, and then I took my MIG welder and I just welded on the edge of the bushing until the bronze of the bushing melted out of the way and we got down to the steel backing, and that gave me a nice big blob, that's the technical term, of metal
That's what we're here for.
that I could take a chisel and chisel against to collapse the bushing slightly inward, and then I could grab it with a pair of ice grips, sort of rotate it and twist it out. So it only took me maybe 10 minutes to do that, compared to I've spent much longer than that in the past. So anyway, that was a win, as long as you pack the hole with the wet paper towel so the other bearing doesn't get ruined. So the reactor shaft, this being a 1956, there's a bushing here. Well, there's a bushing in all the reactor shafts, but this particular bushing is grooved on the 1956s. So it's possible to install the wrong reactor shaft in the car, but then you will not get good clutch action. So 56s should have grooves, all the other ones should not, but I still want to just check this bushing for size. And so I've got my wonderful little telescoping gauge here, like usual. So I'm going to get in there and measure him from side to side, hold him nice and straight, lock it, rock it out.
See one of them laying around, let me know.
Okay. So this is perfect.
Should be in the neighborhood somewhere, but-
This bushing is still, I think we mentioned before that Packard bushings, when they're installed, should be at the nominal size. So this is 1.125, which is nominal 1 1/8. So I know that I don't have to replace that bushing because it's still standard size. Done. We're going to install these two bushings. This one goes in the stub shaft of the converter, and it is a Babbitt lined bushing, so it can take some misalignment.
Okay.
And this goes in the nose of the torque converter to replace the one that we just welded and beat on like there's no tomorrow.
All right.
So if you're going to rebuild an Ultramatic, one of the things you're going to need are arbors for pushing the bushings in, because if you take a bushing like this and you hammer it in with a hammer and a block of wood, chances are it's not going to be round anymore and you will not get a good result. You'll not get the oil pressure control that you're after. So sadly, you either have to make your own or buy suitable size arbors, or have a buddy turn them up on a lathe so that you can push these in. For example, we're going to install this one in the front of the torque converter, and my multi-purpose arbor here. This fits quite a number of different bushings. Obviously, we'll push that in nicely without disturbing anything. Whereas this one, I'm not sure which one this one goes on. He goes on the next step. So we'll install him in the shaft. in the stub shaft. So we're going to replace the bushing in this stub shaft here. So of course the old one has to come out, and we have a suitable arbor for pushing it out. It has to come out this way. So we drop our arbor in, and then I have a holder to so that as the bushing comes out, it has some place to go. So I sit him up on top of there and put him in the press, along with a convenient block of metal. Make sure you get my bald spot when you do that then. In fact, it's pretty much unavoidable. Okay, get all that lined up. And it doesn't take much of a push to get this particular one out. At least not normally. There we go, she's going already.
If only it was that easy to get toxic people out of your life.
If only. If only. So, there we go. Ta-da, one used and undesirable bushing. Alright, I have to go get two little things and then we'll go ahead and put this bushing back in. So we're going to install our new bushing in the stub shaft, and you don't want to just push that in there dry. At least I don't like to do it like that. So we're going to put a little bit of lubricant in here. And now I have to take a minute and explain what this particular lubricant is. I use this in the shop all the time. It's
Peanut butter.
well, it was, but it's this is what we officially known as snail snot here, because there is nothing. Snot is slick, but snot from snails is even slicker. So
wow.
That's it's hard to get anything slicker than snail snot. Or if you would like to use the German technical term, that would be Schneckerritze.
It's even rare.
Yeah, even rarer.
So you
don't have to use imported snail snot. You can make your own.
Wow.
I use 50% STP oil treatment and 50% automatic transmission fluid, and it works fantastic. There's been many an engine and transmission assembled using that particular brand of snail snot with no troubles whatsoever.
Welcome to Ross's house blend.
We keep it out of the kitchen mostly.
Until the apocalypse.
Yeah, until the apocalypse. Alright, so now we're going to press this bushing in here. The main thing is to get it started nice and straight. Bring the ram down a little closer, then hold it nice and straight. And what I like to do is get it just started, and then I take the pressure off and let the press reset so it's not pushing in any sort of angle. And in she goes. So I just have to watch out that it goes in just enough, and we are there. You see, it just uncovered these holes here. So we should be, and these holes are still uncovered.
And that's
also,
key, right? You have to have that. Okay.
And because we need to have both of them.
That's for the oil to go through?
That's for
correct?
oil to go through, yes, exactly right, so it can get where it needs to go. And so we're golden.
Yay, golden.
Yeah, okay, good. And now I'll just, while we're in here and we have everything, let me get the clutch housing. We'll put the bushing in for the clutch housing as well. Okay, now we're going to assemble our clutch housing. And one of the chief things to remember is to put your thrust bearing in first, because I have pressed bushings in the past and then stood up and said, oh, no, because I forgot to put the thrust bearing in, and then you're totally screwed.
Okay, I thought you just did that. I was like, oh no.
No. Everything's fine so far.
So natural.
More more snail snot. See, this one can't wait to go in. Let's see, I'll use my little block of metal to take up some space. I'm standing up something like straight. Pressure off, line everything up very nicely. Yeah, it's just a little bit above flush, which is fine. We'll check it with the shaft that goes with it. I prefer it to stick out a little bit, and you see the thrust bearing inside can move readily without any sort of problems.
Now, is there a spec for that, or is it just...
No, you just
Based on experience?
just good practice.
Oh, okay.
But we will check it with the mating part.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll take that with this. So. So this is the part that mates with the bushing. Let's see how well he fits. Oh, like Christmas. Beautiful. Right. I don't know if you can get a picture in there. You see this has little, oops, got it?
Yeah. Let me zoom in on that bad boy.
Okay. So this has, these are the oil holes that actually provide oil to the direct drive clutch. And they need to be visible over the top of the bushing. So you see I need to actually push the bushing in just a little tiny bit further so that those holes are not obscured at all. So otherwise we'll get a very sluggish clutch action.
All right. I see. Now it all comes together. Quite literally.
So he just gets another little oonch.
That's standard or metric?
That's actually universal.
That's stantric.
Okay, bushing still, bearing still moves. Yep. And the hole is not significantly obscured.
Ah.
So, now we're ready. We can actually begin some reassembly.